Hey everybody, it's Dr. Lowenstein. Everywhere today and yesterday is the news about this new migraine drug medication, which is very exciting. And I've got a lot of stuff here on my computer, but it's called Aimovig, and it is from, I believe, Amgen. And there's just been a lot of talk and excitement about this this drug for a long time. We've known about this for a long time, and it's an antibody that works against mediators in the brain to help prevent migraines. So the thought is that if this causes migraines and this is the pain, in between these two things, there are mediators that transfer the signal from here to here. And antibodies cling on to these mediators, preventing them from getting to this point where they actually cause the pain. So in theory, this is a great idea. And actually, in actuality, it's a great idea. And as so many people who know me and have interacted with us know, my attitude towards all things migraine is do whatever works, right? So, I mean, if a daith piercing works for your migraines, then that's great, and it's certainly worth a try. Sorry, I have messages coming up on my phone here. This is a great thing. And there's a lot of hype going on about it. And my attitude here again is, if I think it's worth a try and if it works, that's fantastic. But I want to read, this is from the FDA news release, yesterday. It's a little techy, but it says the effectiveness of Aimovig for the prevention of migraine was evaluated in 3 clinical trials. The first study had 955 patients, so almost 1,000 patients with episodic migraines. And they compared this drug and placebo, which is placebo thinking that whether you think you got the drug, but you didn't get the drug. And over the course of 6 months, the patients treated with the drug experienced on an average 1 to 2 fewer monthly migraine days. That means that out of a month, they had 1 or 2 less days with migraine, okay? The second study had 577 patients, and I'll read it again. The second study included 577 patients with a history of episodic migraine and compared Aimovig to placebo. Over the course of 3 months, Aimovig treated patients experienced on average 1 fewer migraine day, less than patients treated with placebo. In the third study, there were 667 patients with chronic migraine, and they compared Aimovig to placebo. And I quote, in that study, over the course of 3 months, patients treated with Aimovig experienced on an average 2.5 fewer monthly migraine days compared to those taking placebo. Now, 1 less day is great. 2 less days is great. 2.5 less days a month is great. But I want to remind you guys that these are not the patients that we would either likely be seeing for surgery, and this is certainly not the outcomes that we would expect with surgery. So, as many of you who know me know, and again, you can find out a bunch of information on headachesurgery.com, but when you're having surgery, we expect a 50% or better improvement in your migraine, which means half less migraine days than you usually have. And those migraines should be half as severe as they used to be. But again, over 40% of patients have no more migraines. So that's 0 migraine days per month. And these studies also have been extensively compared with 5-year outcomes against placebo, and the statistical significance or the numbers that prove this works are way off the charts. So again, I'm really excited about this drug. It's an injection. It's expensive. But if it works for people, that's fantastic, because again, we're not dying to operate on everybody. We just want to operate, and we being the community of surgeons that do nerve decompression surgery for migraine, and migraine surgery. Again, we don't want to just operate on everybody, but we want to help people. And I think I speak for all of us that if you can be helped by this drug, that's fantastic. If you can be helped by Imitrex, that's fantastic. If you can be helped by a daith piercing, that's fantastic. If you can be helped by chiropractic or even meditation, all of that is fantastic. But if none of those things work, that's we have something to offer that has a very, very high success rate. Again, over 90% of people in studies of migraine surgery have at least 50% improvement, and 40% of patients, again, who've had migraine surgery have never have another migraine again. So those numbers, it's hard to compete with those numbers because they're so good. So I hope this is helpful, and I think that these new drugs are absolutely worth discussing with your neurologist or your pain doctor. Again, as I say so often, do everything you can do to stay off of narcotics. Really, before you go down the road of narcotics, you really should get an evaluation for surgery, because man, those narcotics, once we operate and you don't need the narcotics anymore, they're so hard to get off of. Anyway, just not a fan of narcotics. But try this drug if it's an option for you. Try other things if it's an option for you. But if you're still having problems, or you don't want to take the drugs, or the side effects from drugs are a problem, that's when to look for a migraine surgeon. So I hope that helps. I hope everybody has a pain-free weekend. And please give us a call if there's anything any questions that you have. Okay? Great. Take care.